On this, the 140th anniversary of your birth, we reflect on your legacy to aspiring peacemakers. You called your great innovation, learned through a lifetime of bold experimentation, satyagraha, nonviolent direct action in the cause of justice. From your study of world religions as a university student in London, you came to appreciate that truth takes many forms and is reflected in many faces. Even one's adversary has a piece of the truth, and therefore is to be respected and listened to. In your later struggles for justice in South Africa and India, you learned to put aside self-righteousness and communicate respect for adversaries. If war always entails the demonizing and dehumanizing enemies as subhuman, gooks or krauts or chinks, peacemaking takes another path. As a young lawyer in South Africa, you organized an Indian ambulance corps to care for injured British troops during the Boer War. You recognized that the warrior virtue of courageous endurance of pain and deprivation, of placing one's life at risk for a greater cause, was the very virtue required of the nonviolent. Nonviolent action must be the opposite of pacifism. You and your well-trained disciples faced down violence with heroic self-discipline and courage. Respect for adversaries and courage coalesced in satyagraha, the commitment to struggling for truth nonviolently, despite the personal suffering one must endure. We witnessed that respect in Nelson Mandela, who after 27 years of imprisonment negotiated firmly but respectfully with the leaders of the apartheid government who had put him there. He treated them as fellow humans, and they in response came to have deep respect for him. Against all odds, the nonviolent course Mandela and his compatriots steered accomplished a transition to majority rule in South Africa without a bloodbath. We see your courage, Mr. Gandhi, mirrored in the faces of nonviolent warriors everywhere. You showed us the redemptive nature of suffering for a cause without retaliation. Our own nation's conscience awakened when we saw television images of dogs attacking black children in Birmingham, Alabama. We can no longer deny the viciousness of our racist system as we witnessed the suffering of those children. It reached the heart of segregationist Governor George Wallace, who would later apologize for his role in obstructing the racial justice. Mr. Gandhi, we learn from you the need for creativity in nonviolent peacemaking, devising actions that capture the attention and imagination of the people. The British rulers of India laughed at you at your announcement that you would lead a march to the sea to distill sea salt in violation of the government's monopoly on the production of salt. But your action deepened the resolve of Indians for freedom, reaching into the millions of kitchens where women participated in the struggle for freedom by distilling salt. We saw that creativity and even humor in the Serbian Otpor freedom fight that ousted Milosevic as the young people used their cell phones to organize the populace and staged humor contests that undercut the dignity and authority of the government. You are the father of many successful nonviolent campaigns against unjust and heavily armed regimes. The Solidarity Campaign in Poland, the Orange Revolution in the Ukraine, the Saffron Revolution led by Buddhist monks in Myanmar, the non-cooperation campaigns that brought down the Pinochet dictatorship in Chile and the Marcos regime in the Philippines. You observed that in your day the potential for nonviolent action was at the same stage as electricity in Edison's day. Our violent world is ever more being illuminated by an alternative path, the power of nonviolence because of you. Thank you, Mr. Gandhi. Happy birthday.